Welcome everyone to Additional Pollen's Games, and today I wanted to talk about a few reasons, a few motivations, and just kind of share with you guys my reasons, my motivations for starting a YouTube channel. As you're growing a channel, as you develop and build a channel, it's important to outline what your channel is about, what content you cover, and your posting schedule, all that sort of stuff. But even more so, it's important to outline why you want to have a YouTube channel, why you do it. That motivation, those whys, those reasons that push you through those tough times. And so I wanted to take a few minutes and discuss why I'm YouTubing, why I created my channel, and to be explicitly clear about that, I want, hopefully this lends to some transparency between you, my viewers, and myself, so that you can understand what I hope to have on this channel, what I hope to build on this channel, and I hope that you'll understand so that you can join me on shaping and creating this channel, because I want this to be a community. I want this to be a communal venture, if you will. So this is going to integrate a little bit of my story, but here's why my 4 reasons as to why I'm a YouTuber. So reason number 1 simply is that I wanted to be more than a game consumer. I want to be more than just a game consumer. I don't know when it was, but sometime in late 2015, I got to the point where being a gamer just was not fulfilling to me anymore. It wasn't enjoyable. I wasn't enjoying the games that I was playing. I wasn't enjoying any of the old games that I had. Nothing looked good. I just wasn't enjoying it, right? After some time away from gaming, I determined that the reason for this was that I was stuck, right? I was stuck just ingesting game after game and doing nothing more with them, right? I basically was just having like game content constipation, right? There's just lots of content coming in and there's there's nothing coming out. And so the solution was to do something with my gaming, right? Instead of it just being static, doing something with it, moving forward with it somehow. So at one point I was thinking I want to maybe be a game designer. I came up with some game ideas. I started looking into that, and I still might do those eventually. But one day there was an epiphany where I was watching it was probably just a really bad YouTube video. So I closed it out and I thought to myself, I could do better than that. And then I realized if I say that, then I should be willing and able to follow through with that. And hence how I started considering that my channel, like what my channel would be on YouTube. So that's reason number 1. I wanted to be more than a consumer, right? More than a consumer of YouTube, more than a consumer of games, more than just a consumer of game culture, that sort of thing. I wanted to be a producer and a contributor. So reason number 2, I wanted to grow my skills in content and content production. I've never hidden that I work in education. I work specifically in online education, higher education, and nowadays educators wear a lot of different hats. They take on a lot of different roles, and sometimes that includes the need and the ability to produce video content, other types of content as well, audio content, podcasts, all that sort of stuff. So I had, through my degrees and through my work, through all these different avenues, I was able to obtain the software and hardware necessary to produce videos, right? I had the subject, games and game culture and that sort of thing, to record on, and probably most importantly, I had the time, right? I had the time to record. So with the right motivations and with this desire to be a contributor, I saw that starting a YouTube channel would be actually, even if it's not on the subject of education, it's actually a resume builder, as well as being a fulfilling project to undertake in my own time, right? So I'm a lifelong learner, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm in education. And I wanted those skills of audio and video recording and editing. I wanted those skills of content planning and search engine optimization, and social media broadcasting and communication and all this sort of stuff. And building a gaming channel, even though it's personal, it was the right avenue for me to do that, to practice those skills. So part of this channel is me growing my resume and fulfilling my intrinsic need to be mastering new skills and learning new things and like all this sort of stuff. So even though it helps, so that's one, granted, it is a little bit of a selfish reason, but I hope that you can see that, the product that I'm trying to push is something that is a communal base. The product that I want to create, the channel I want to create, is something that brings value to you as well as to myself. And that's my third point, is the motivation number 3. I wanted to build a community that discusses why games and game nostalgia are powerful, impactful, and meaningful. right? After my revelation, if you will, on building a better YouTube channel, I took time to figure out what I wanted to build. There's no point in saying I should start a YouTube channel if I don't know what it's going to be about. So after taking that time away, I determined I wanted to create a community that can discuss and reminisce and just go over the great moments of gaming, right? Those moments that made you laugh, or shocked you, the moments that made you cry or smile or scream, the moments that scarred you, like in a good way or a bad way, either way, moments that you want to remember forever. So I wanted to create a channel where these moments can be discussed, they can be displayed, and I wanted it to be a channel where these moments can come from any game at any time period in any genre, right? Not just new games, Call of Duty, GTA 5, all those new games, not just old games, the classics, right? Because those moments that impacted you can happen in games at all times, right? So, like, example, growing up, those impactful games for me were the Age of Empires series, 1, 2, the expansion to 2, Age of Mythology, all those, just like the feeling of control and planning that it took to defeat enemies, and like going through the different scenarios and like defeating all the different, it's just like this complex game of real-time chess, and it was really satisfying when you overcame a level, especially when it was really difficult, right? Nowadays, for me, it's games like Skyrim, where there's just this massive urge to explore and to see the unknown, and it's just this mystery of what's around the next corner, what's in that cave, just that mystery, that need to know, right? Or games like The Last of Us that literally made me cry within the first 20 minutes. And I'm not a crier. I'm not an emotional person. So, like, the last time I cried before The Last of Us was watching Saving Private Ryan like 5-7 years ago, right? So I cry like twice a decade. So I knew immediately that The Last of Us was special, and like all the different websites and awards knew that The Last of Us was special too. But that's exactly what I want this channel to be about. I want this to be a channel where we can take those special moments, those moments that you'll remember for your entire life, and we can talk about them and analyze them and see why they're important. I wanted a channel where we could speak to the important role of video games have taken on in our generation, right? So the generations before us, you had radio, that was like the big new medium, and then you had television, that was the big new medium, or movies, and then television, and then all these different mediums, and then it was the internet, and now it's video games. Video games have gotten to that point where they're this medium that really can speak and be impactful. It's a new form of art, and I wanted to channel a place where we can, as a community, talk about those things. So that was third motivation. And the final motivation is that I wanted to grow something that I can be proud of, right? I want to grow something that I can look back on and just have that, I don't know, that sense of accomplishment. So a few years ago, probably alongside the time when I had that epiphany moment, there was this article on Cracked that came out, talking about how people sabotage themselves from meeting their goals, which was very applicable to me at that time, because I had all these goals, like I had this big goal of starting a YouTube channel, and it just seemed so insurmountable. So I've linked it in the description below if you want to read it. Fair warning, some of the language is crass, some of it's offensive and not necessarily work friendly. So just, disclaimer there. But I want to read you a paragraph from that, and it simply said this. This paragraph, it just, for whatever reason, it was just a gut punch for me. So it says this: any long-term project that seems impossible to most people, from building a house to writing a book to becoming an actual ninja, is possible to the people who do them only because they don't focus on the end goal. There's only what they have to do today. Don't misunderstand me, the author. It's not what they ignore. It's not that they ignore the goal. It's that they don't regard what they do today and what they want to have 10 years from now as separate things. The future isn't a fanciful wish. It's just the logical end of a long chain of todays. What they do today and what they want to be long term are the same thing. And so he's talking about successful people and how they view these big projects. They don't view them as one massive project. They view them as one little task after one little task after one little task, and seeing the connection between that task and the end goal. And so they see themselves on that, almost this progress bar towards their end goal, and they see how every little action leads them on that progress bar, right? So, but that second line, second to last line, the future isn't a fanciful wish, it's just the logical end of a long chain of todays. It literally took the breath right out of me. I remember this moment. because I knew at that time that the logical string of my todays, right, at that time was working a desk job in online education for 30 or 40 years. And I wanted more than that, right? I want more than that. And I want more than that through this channel. I wanted to create something that I could be proud of, that I built, that I can look back on. And I can't do that if I'm building something for someone else. So this channel came forth so that my tomorrows are gradually and logically working towards something far and above a desk job for 30 or 40 years, right? I wanted to build something just more massive, more impactful than that, right? So those are my 4 main motivations. That's why I'm a YouTuber. For those of you who made it through to this point, I thank you so much for hearing me out, and I would love to hear your thoughts in return. If you are a YouTuber, I think that I would really like this to be a movement on YouTube. I want you to create your own YI YouTube video, post it to your channel, link it to me, and inspire others to do the same. Talk about why you YouTube, and like give your story a little bit. As always, there are links in the description. If you want to contact me, connect with me on Facebook and Twitter, talk a little bit more about this, right? Comment below if you have anything to say, especially if maybe you've experienced the same thing. And I hope that you enjoyed this enough to hit like, subscribe, and share. So many blessings, and I hope that you, now understanding a little bit of my motivations and goals for this channel, I hope that you will want to join me on creating a community of nostalgia-loving gamers, young and old, new and experienced, everyone in between. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time here on Additional Pylons Game.